The following game contains explicit sexual content and is intended for adult audiences only. This game's story includes difficult subject matter not suited for all audiences. Hey everyone, welcome back to a new video. And today I am going to be once again reading another furry visual novel. It has been a very long time since I have done a video like this. I've been wanting to do more ever since I did my Since November video, but I just haven't been able to find a visual novel since that I felt was right for a video. And I have finally I have finally found one. And the biggest reason is because this game has streamer mode. Because there is NSFW 18 plus stuff in this game, and you already saw that in the intro of the video, so you already know about that. It is hard to enable. Yes, there we go. Streamer mode will provide users with warnings for and the ability to skip scenes containing images of sex or nudity, but will not censor or hide sexually graphic text. Non-muted gameplay video upload to YouTube must include music by Scott Buckley in the video description to avoid automatic copyright claims. That is interesting. Okay, I will keep that in mind. I'm glad I read that. But yeah, that is there so that my video doesn't get taken down. I don't know very much about this visual novel other than it is a futuristic cyberpunk-esque visual novel, and I kind of just wanted to jump into it. Like, I read a little bit of the description and it hooked me already, so I just read it, just moved on. Already what I'm noticing on the cover of this game is the deer guy here has ports on his back, which immediately make me think of the Matrix, which is really cool, but also upsetting because I don't think any of us want to have ports on our backs, but that is a thing. And I'm pretty sure we are the deer character. I think we play as him. I don't know his name yet, but I'm pretty sure. But yeah, let's jump right into this. And there is content warnings, but I did have a content warning at the beginning of the video, so this is 18 plus. This isn't going to be all sunshine and rainbows story. It's going to have a lot of stuff in it that may not be suitable for everyone. So be sure to check that out and make sure you're in the right place to read this. But anyway, let's get started into this. They broke their backs lifting Moloch to heaven. Pavements, trees, radios, tons. Lifting the city to heaven, which exists and is everywhere about us. Howell, Allen Ginsberg. Ooh. I like this UI. Okay, this is cool. Okay, let me actually read it. The sun got turned off a couple of hours ago. The corners. Okay, let me just try this again. The sun got turned off a couple of hours ago. The corner stores and bars are still casting colored light out onto the rain-slick asphalt beneath my feet. Oh, geez. Did I have an option selected? I did. I was probably still in that. I was like, why'd it go back? Great start. None of the few stragglers heading home would remember me if they glimpsed me. I avoid them anyway. I'm headed away from those lights and the people walking within them. I keep my head low as a bus leaves from the stop nearby. A lone passenger leans against the window near the back, ragged and exhausted. Soon enough, I'm down to just the streetlights. My feet hurt. The weight of my backpack rubs uncomfortably against my sodden clothes, and I haven't been able to shake this cold for the last few weeks. It's hard to clear my throat without bringing on a full coughing fit. I endure each discomfort unfeelingly, none of them matter. My memories of this place by daylight bear little resemblance to the looming shapes of the distant, boarded up warehouses. At first, I struggle to navigate the darkened streets. But my feet know the way better than I do, and I find myself standing at the destination I scouted out earlier. Jonah and Sons. Not the most descriptive name. I'd guess it used to be a machining or repair shop, from what little I could glimpse through the window during the day. I glance up and down the street and notice a stray headlight in the distance. I pause, alert. It brightens, but then extinguishes as the truck turns away. The bars are too distant to hear now. Rainfall and the dilapidated roofs muffle the sounds of the city. I breathe in and let the moment fill me. If it weren't for the occasional distant traffic, I could imagine myself the last person alive. There's something empowering in that, something freeing, like I could step from the asphalt and fly. I'm finally, truly alone. That feeling, I draw it out. That's what I need. This is what it takes. This is what it takes to set things right. My thoughts cast back to the bus riders and the scattered late night stragglers. I quietly wish them well, and I turn towards the nearest building. My weight on the chain link fence stings my fingers. I climb slowly, carefully testing each foothold on the rain slick metal. Near the top, I cling to the fence with my left hand, fishing in my pocket with my right. The barbed wire's thin, and even one-handed, I'm able to awkwardly snip through it with the wire cutter. Once the barbed wire is cut, I carefully grab it with the wire cutter and peel it aside to make a large enough gap for me to cross over. Maybe it's pointless to care about cuts and scrapes, considering everything. Maybe I'm being selfish, but I don't want to be hurt. Okay, already I am concerned on what this person is doing. Because the way he's acting and the way he's acting all like self-destructive, like he's just like already right there he's like, who cares about cuts and scrapes? It's like, what happened? I want to know. Very interesting. The fence is low enough to jump down from, but the impact is heavier than expected, and I stumble. I steady myself, looking around. My heartbeat quickens as I begin my trespass. I don't know whether to sprint or try to look like I belong. I end up just walking quickly, making my way closer. I'm sure that I'm alone, but I can't help but hold my breath, as if the slightest sound will betray me. Fortunately, my memory ends up being good enough to find the entrance. I slip through an unlocked door, creeping into the abandoned gloom on the other side. My search is short. The faint streetlight glints off something metallic in the corner. I feel around, fumbling over the brickwork, and manage to find its unnatural shape. An abandoned exchange port, miraculously still live despite its surroundings. I sling my backpack down against the wall and kneel. The wall port has no cord, but I wasn't expecting one. I take my own from my bag and plug it in. The metallic weight of the other end sits heavy in my palm. It's an ugly, crude, and purposeless thing, save for this. I exhale, bringing the other end of the cable up to plug into the matching port at the base of my skull. Yeah, I was kind of assumed that's what he was doing. Because you got that guy on the cover of the game who had the ports on his back, which is, I really, I love and hate the Matrix for popularizing that. It's upsetting to think about. As soon as I see it in the port, the lock automatically engages with a metallic click. I'm ready to begin my work. Ooh, this is cool. It's like a little it's like a little animation in the game. That's really cool. Okay. I can already really tell that this game has a lot of it just has a lot more in it than most furry visual novels, which is really cool. I really like that. There's a familiar momentary vertigo as the connection begins to form. I pause at login, holding the process at bay and idling in standby. It almost itches, the firmware embedded in my spine thrumming in readiness to bridge the gap and bear my consciousness outwards. But first, there's one more law to be broken. It feels absurd and wrong for the last of my savings to have been spent on something so insubstantial. How much labor and hardship went into the purchase of that flicker of code that now waits hungrily to act? There's nothing for it. I realize I'm holding my breath as I initialize a second process, letting it over letting it overwrite my firmware. Your CPU counter went up. What are you doing? My heart beats as the silence stretches. I force myself to let the breath out. There's the slightest hint of rising animal panic. How long will it take? Is it even working at all? What if a flurry of warning messages project into my vision? I'm almost startled, even though I expected them. It worked then. What did he say? Handshake checksum failed. Firmware data contains critical continuity errors. Abort and eject sideload parcel. Exchange protocol error. Undefined login parameters. Critical error at blah blah blah. System memory corrupted. Core volume panic breakout. Breakpoint. Terminate all current processes and load restore state. Illegal operation detected. Immediately terminate process corrupted to prevent critical system damage. Yeah, that's kind of what I expected. So whatever he's doing is illegal in some way, and somehow they have computers in their heads that tell them when something's illegal. That must be great. Good. I dismiss them. Dude, your CPU counter is at max now. Don't pass out. Don't overheat, bro. From here, there will be no turning back. It's time. The last item I remove from my backpack is a plain tarp, the sort of thing that nobody would glance twice at in an abandoned building like this. Is he hooking himself up to some sort of simulation? Like, is he permanently putting himself in a simulation? Honestly, that's my best guess so far, because of how the finality to how he's acting like this is happening is that's what it makes me think. I'm gonna shut up now. I throw it over myself, wrapping myself in it loosely, and I lie down to nestle up to the wall about as comfortably as I can. It'll buy me time, and time is what I need. Okay, maybe it's not forever. Maybe it's definitely longer than a day, but not forever. My breath is hot and humid in the plastic until I make a slight opening. I think I can hear my heartbeat, but it's probably just nerves. Oh, there's a breathing noise. Okay. I close my eyes. I guess I won't need them anymore. I lay there for a moment, the rhythms of my body unnaturally loud. I wait for a feeling to come. Resolve, when it arrives, doesn't lift my spirits. Resolve is a dull and heavy thing, but it's mine to hold. It holds me in turn, cold arms enfolding me, and ushers me gently downwards. I mean, I guess it's my only option. Descend. The connection opens. My breath catches. I which? Oh. Roll the credits. Part 1, The Underworld. Okay, before we really get into this, I read. So, what I did read on the itch.io page of this game. Okay, it's the game got bored of me talking. What I did read on the page of this game is um, that the person who you play as, it said something like his life gets turned upside down when one of his friends who was presumed dead shows up later. I have a hunch that that was that friend, and he did something that made people think he was gone or dead. My best guess so far? Theory crafting already? I have never held a dandelion in my hands. I know about them. Records exist. I've seen pictures from the surface. I could describe their structure and color conversationally. Once, on a whim, I dove deeper into the archives, unfurled the taxonomic tree of life to try to understand them down to the tissue, the cell, the molecule. But I've never held a dandelion in my hands. There exists an essence and experience forever beyond my reach. Then again, maybe the truth of a dandelion is just as far from the limited reach of the senses as I am from holding a dandelion. Maybe there's something deeper and truer there that escaped the people who lived on the surface just as surely as it now escapes me. Okay, so now we know that we are living underground in some way, which is interesting. Maybe I flatter myself to imagine I could ever grasp it, that I could form some true connection with it, could know it through the heritage between it. And the thought form that I've conjured and given substance in my hand, it, like everything else in the simulation, is not real, but it is mine. Okay, so he's in a simulation. I'm going to turn down the music just a little bit. I am using a controller, and sometimes it can be kind of hard to control things with the controller. I'm also just make the sound volume. Put that just a little. Sometimes sounds in the SFX and visual novels can be a little loud, so put that one notch below that. My thumb strokes over the yellow head, feeling its softness as it bends. At my touch, the blossom progresses to seed. It's strange to imagine weeding out such a beautiful flower, but that experience too is loss. I hold on to that feeling, the loss of a thing never experienced. My focus tightens. There's something more to it, a notion of receding and distant wander as ephemeral as the dandelion's soft seeds. The seeds themselves, what if they're the way to express it? What if they retained that flower's brightness, caught and held that golden sunlight as they floated on the breeze? My thumb brushes the head once more, the pallid gray brightening. I think I like it. It's a start at least. I exhale, for its own sake, as if breath is unnecessary in this place, and let the seeds blow from the stem and drift. My attention leaves my body and drifts with them. Yellow loses itself in the glowing sunlight, gold drifting in gold. Some several hundred feet away, a seed alights on an unexpected arrival, a stranger. I can't feel too much from him, curiosity and maybe just the slightest silver of wonder. I wasn't planning on entertaining, but very beautiful. I let go of myself, my avatar disappearing as I flow into the world. It comes easily to me these days. I become the forest for my visitor. A breath of wind stirs my leaves as the visitor, a goat, handsome in a light and lean sort of way, treads uncertainly into a glade. He's drawn in by the spectacle of me. Good, but I won't hold his interest forever. My scene is missing direction. I draw a line of motion just behind him, beating wings and a spray of impossible feathers. I keep the detail low. It isn't meant to be perceived directly, and it won't be. It works. He whirls around, catches just enough. It impels him forward, and I offer the sound of running water ahead to keep him moving. I curve a river attractively across the earth and draw down a luminous sunbeam through the canopy, catching its shape in the spray. Where the river bends, where my guest can just glimpse the bird as it vanishes behind his sight and into nothingness, I finish the tableau with a figure. Hello. A seated red fox faces away from the goat, nude and letting his legs dangle listlessly above the river's edge. Listlessly above the river's edge. When the goat breaks the tree line, the fox, I, as my new avatar, looks back over his shoulder. The smile is hard to perfect. Something God damn it. Something subtly melancholy. Something elusive. And then I push off the stone and vanish into the water. So, this is a simulation. Is he the fox? Like, is he somehow, like, watching himself through the simulation? Is that what he's doing? Or maybe, okay, or I see. He's probably watching the POV of someone else. Okay. Yeah, okay. I don't bother maintaining my fox self once I'm beyond my guest's field of view, once more dissolving into nothingness as easily as I did mere moments ago. The visitor stands there, staring at the distant bank. It's a strong enough image to end on, I think. I don't have time for an extended session, and I nudge the path out under his feet so that he'll find his way to the exit. Oh, his own way to the exit. I feel sorry for rushing him. I'll give him a minute, but I really do need to get going. Lark, huh? So I'm really bad at voices in general, so I'm probably not gonna go hard into the whole voices thing, but I'll try to uh um what is it, like, act the emotions of the characters, I guess, in a way. But I'm not gonna go crazy into voices because I am but one man. Playing the hits, are we? Ah, I can feel the speaker's presence back in the clearing, past the detailed parts of my forest self that my guest and I are focused on. Far enough, too, to appear to the new visitor without alerting the goat that picks his way along the gently guiding path. I always hate talking without an actual body. It's only Lark who's dropped in, so I don't bother coming up with anything novel. I draw myself down to the shape of my own body, my own limbs, my own antlers. I knew it. I knew it was the deer. And re-emerge in the glade I'd left behind. Why are you naked? Why are you naked? Alright, here, my streamer mode coming in here. The following scene contains visual depiction of nudity or sexuality. Do you wish to skip it? Note, skipping scenes does not represent the intended story experience. Thing thing that sucks is I don't know what. But I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just probably gonna go ahead and skip it. It does suck skipping parts of story. That is the one bummer about playing this on YouTube. But I also think it's kind of dumb to, like, it's like assuming that there was a nude character that was about to show up. Pretty much where you would have to censor him is right where the text would be, which is very counterintuitive for a video like this. So I'm just gonna skip it. Yeah, yeah, but it seems like I also missed a lot. I don't know, because I feel like now I had like, no, I'm gonna go back. I don't want to, I don't want to miss, I don't want to miss what was there. I'll figure something out. Future me can figure out the whole. Uh, I was kind of hoping. I guess I was kind of hoping that the streamer mode would be more like it would show sprites that were censored, I guess, but it doesn't. So, which kind of sucks. So, I'll let editor me figure that out. Figure out how to do this. Okay, let's actually continue reading. Why are you naked? Yeah, he's definitely naked. Okay, you started it with the fox. Am I not following your artistic vision? You know, heartbreaking and Edenic beauty? I'm gonna go with Edenic. Edenic beauty, a certain naturalistic and innocent sexual undertone, that sort of thing. I'm sure your guests would have been into it, and if you'd given him the chance. Oh, so you're mocking me. Yes, but I wouldn't bother if I didn't think you were onto something. I sigh, rubbing my forehead. I know, it's shit. It isn't shit, but it isn't done. You're right, it's not. I keep going back and forth. I start with the research, tweak things, try to sharpen it and capture a feeling more than a place, but every time I just end up feeling self-conscious and stupid about the whole thing. It's too indulgent. It's practically emotional pornography, and then I dial it back until I end up back where I started. Well, look who's suddenly too good for pornography. You're right, that feeling. You're right, that you're being too. Oh my god. You're right, that you're being self conscious. That's your problem. You're so self conscious that you're afraid of any real glimpse of you being present in the work. You're trying to disappear. And without you, the work says nothing. So, dialing it back is a mistake, if anything. You should commit fully to the changes from bare reality. Create what you actually want it to be instead of what it is. You're the one that was just making fun of my artistic vision. Because you haven't committed to one yet, you're trying to capture a feeling. Well, what feeling? What are we doing here? What do you actually want? I leave their question hanging in the air. The distant susurration of insects unheard in living memory covers my silence. I want to know what that word means. One moment. Susurration, whispering, murmuring. Okay, good to know. The reconstructed memory of sunlight, which I have never felt, warms my fur. Oh, that's a really sad sentence. All they've ever felt is the feeling of what we can only reconstruct as sunlight and not actual sunlight. That's actually really sad to think about. I get a system message indicating that our unnamed guest has left my instance. Oops, I pushed my controller. I don't know. You will if you're willing to put in the work. Can't just snap your fingers and stun the world with your virtuosity that easily, hmm? Yeah, well, whatever. I need to get to work. Catch you later. See you around. Yeah, I think I'm going to continue to just read it as normal because that honestly, that's a whole conversation that would have really sucked if I missed that because I probably would have missed like future things or whatever. So yeah, I'm not gonna skip things in the future. With only a thought, the instance is closed and I begin disconnecting from the exchange. There's always that moment of vertigo, not even darkness, but nothingness, the space between avatars and bodies, between perception and reality. Sometimes it's oppressive, sometimes it's almost cozy. Sometimes I worry that something went wrong and I wonder whether I might drift unfeeling in that void until the end of time. Okay, bro. Why don't you freak yourself out unplugging? Today I pay it no mind as I mull over Lark's words. And you're back. So interesting. So the exchange is the place that the previous character in the intro plugged into, and that is what we just left. So the exchange is probably some sort of like digital virtual reality or whatever. It's a really nice drawn background. I'm gonna look over it a little bit. Pictures in the background. There's a little penguin clock over there. Um, I want to know what that machine is down there to the right of the bed. Is that what they use to plug in? Because it looks like those are like plug-in things. I'm gonna assume because he's in his bed and it would make sense that he's plugged in his bed. So, or I'm assuming he's in his bed. He hasn't actually said where he'd be yet. And then I'm lying in my room, conscious of the cable at the base of my head disengaging its locks for manual ejection. I roll my shoulders to work out the stiffness from lying still for so long. Even though I wasn't using them, the Gen 2 implants running down my spine always gets uncomfortable when I'm on my back for too long. Getting up will probably be sore. Yep, I wince as I turn to sit on my bed, hunching forwards a bit to stretch my back out. He was on the bed. How did I know? I reach up and unplug the exchange cable before rising to my feet. My uniform's draped over some hangers. Work didn't pay for it, but at least it's pretty simple. Just a plain, utilitarian jumpsuit with holes along the back to fit my Gen 2 ports. And of course, my badge and the card holder in the front. So he's saying Gen 2 ports, which makes me think that there are Gen 1 ports, and then Gen 3 ports, and then Gen 4 ports. So I wonder if, the rich people get the Gen 4, and then the middle class get the Gen 2 or whatever. I'm probably already reading into things too much, but I've read a lot of stories. You just start to pick this stuff apart quickly. Clean Right Sanitation and Janitorial Services. Julian Halford, Drone Operations Technician. Julian. That's one thing about this visual novel. It didn't ask for your name. Most visual novels let you either hit enter to do the MC name, or just you can type in your own name. And this game completely skipped that. You just are this character, which is cool. Not the most glamorous work, but being able to control enough drones to replace a whole set of janitors pays enough to get by. Lark's words are still rolling around in my head as I pull the uniform on. They're right, or at least gesturing towards something right, and it irks me. What am I really doing with that instance anyway? I don't know. Maybe I should just double down on it being indulgent and pleasant and all that, but it feels like a waste. The ability to shape reality within the exchange, God knows how many hours of research on the world outside, and the best I can do is kind of fuck around with the lighting and colors? Come on. Anyway, it's not the kind of problem I'm going to solve in the next 5 minutes. I exit my room, glancing down the hall to Lark's door. Closed, of course, and I imagine they'll be getting up to more interesting things than I will at work. Oh well. I take the stairs down to the first floor and heads towards the kitchen. Is he implying what I think he's implying? Oh, hi, new character. I end up running into Alex grabbing some leftovers from the fridge. Hi, Alex. Oh, hey, you about to head out? Yeah, just grabbing some coffee first. Afternoon shift today? Yep. The oven clock reads a little after noon. I should be good on time. I scoop some grounds into the basket and start the coffee maker before noticing the odd silence, and I glance over to Alex again. He's leaning against the counter with his fur brow furrowed, staring at the floor like he's considering something. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm talking, but it's like already I have noticed that quite a lot of the backgrounds have all been drawn, which is very impressive because background art takes time, and so it's really cool that already there is drawn backgrounds and stuff like that. So cool, very awesome. Anyway, something up? Oh, just are you doing a short shift today? We're having folks over tonight, remember? Yeah, I tried to get today off, but you know how it is. CleanRight doesn't let us trade shifts, not unless someone's sick. On the bright side, it's only 8 hours, a short shift. I won't exactly be on time, but things were probably going late, right? Oh yeah, for sure. I was just hoping you could help with, you know. Sorry, I don't know. What's up? Well, I don't know, man. Do you think Amir is going to be good for tonight? Ah, right. I guess it's hard to say for sure, but he did seem open to it. Maybe he just wants to take his mind off things. Not hard to imagine why he would. For sure, and I mean, me too, obviously. Just worrying if he's going to be a problem. People are gonna be showing up to have fun. Not really sure what to do if he ends up not being able to handle it. I think about it with a low hum, pouring the coffee into my thermos. I add a bit of sugar, no cream, and grab a protein bar from the pantry. I don't know, I worry about him too, but if he said he's up for it, I think we just have to trust him. I know. Well anyway, I'm probably getting worked up over nothing. Guess I'll see you when I see you. Yeah, I should get going. Catch you later. Later. Thermos in hand, I head for the front door. Are we in a dome? I mean, yes, obviously we are. It just now reminded me. Oh yeah, there was the intro with the lowering and everything. So yeah, they're living in a dome. How do I do the hide? I'll just hit my keyboard. And there's like a big pillar in the middle. You know what it kind of reminds me of for some reason? It reminds me of Wall-E in the ship where it goes up to the guy at the end of the pool, at the end of the place where you can have a pool. I don't know why I thought of that. It's really funny. I step out into the glare of midday, watching for my eyes to adjust. The sun shining at the top of the solar column, shedding bright white light. Also, in the intro, the guy said that the sun had turned off. Rather than it had went down, it had turned off. So there was virtual day and night cycles in this. The house is on the inner edge of the disk, close enough to drop off into the well that, even at ground level, I can see down to it. There's a bit of haze hanging over the well, particularly over the busy areas nearest the solar column, but visibility is still good enough to see across the well to the other side of the disk, and then up to the terrace wall of the Wreath district above. It's a good view and a decent place to live, all told. Supposedly, this house was among some of the first stock built on the disk. Which is to say, now it's kinda shit and half falling apart. At least the rent hasn't gone up too much recently. It's a bit of a walk to the bus stop. I reach back and slot my mobile interface into the back of my neck. No new messages, and nothing especially interesting on the news. Yeah, that's what I assume, so they don't have phones, you just are the phone. Which is also, I don't know, I just don't like the idea. I personally do not like the idea of having stuff in my brain. I'd rather just have a phone in front of me. There's some rain scheduled later. I hope Alex remembers to bring his bike in. He always complains about the detergent in the rain not playing well with the bike's paint. Detergent in the rain. I didn't even consider that, because if it's raining, where's it raining from? It's fake rain. I really am. I love this intro because it's like because like the character here just talks about things like it's normal, but for us this isn't normal at all. So I'm just like, detergent in the rain? What does that mean? There's a bit of time before the bus arrives. Without anything in particular to do, I just take the time to savor my coffee and protein bar. Mint, my favorite. Still just a protein bar, but you know, gotta enjoy the small things. You never know what tomorrow's gonna bring. Foreshadowing? Clean right some distance away. Neither my work nor the house are really on the more fashionable parts of the disc. I'm headed to a pretty out-of-the-way office park. I suppose there's a benefit to working a late shift in an older office. The bus isn't too crowded. Small things. I badge in without issue. The break room's on the way to the main office space, and it looks like Clyde's already partway through his shift. Must be a hell of a shift, judging by how disheveled the middle-aged wolf looks as he slowly sips his water. Hello, new character. He sees me coming, holding up a hand to wave as he swallows and sets the cup down. Morning after... Morning. Afternoon? What time even is it? 1:30 or so? That bad, huh? Christ. Anita's still out on leave, Charlie's still sick, and you know Russell just pretends not to hear it. I nervously glance out the break room door, but the leopard in question, our boss, is seated behind glass walls of his office, across the other end of the bullpen. Sure, but didn't we cancel those wedding cleanup contracts because we're short-handed and all? Clyde glances out the door too before turning back to me in a hissing in a low voice. That's the whole thing. He's got them reinstated. Joyce tipped me off. He went on a whole thing about, oh well, guess the guidelines are just guidelines. His team can handle the load. His team. It's not his ass having to split across 8 drones at once, I'll tell you that much. You have to be joking. Wouldn't be much of a joke if it was. I'm barely gonna break. Okay, retry. Wouldn't be much of a joke if it was. I'm barely gonna break even for the extra daycare hours. He heaves a deep sigh, taking another sip of water. But what can you do? No sense in wallowing in things that aren't gonna change. Well, maybe one of the terrace managers does something eventually, if he keeps pulling this kind of thing. To his credit, he's too polite to call me an idiot. Well, brace yourself, that's all I'm saying. Hopefully I'll be out of here before you're on break, so take it easy if I don't see you later. You too, later. Oh. Did his sprite appear for a second? It did. I thought I had a hallucination. That's just a wee bug. Okay, this is crazy. So I'm going to assume that they're plugging in on these chairs, and yet they put everyone in cubicles. How? Even in the future, we can't escape the cubicles. The dreaded cubicles. I make my way out into the main office. Looks like Russell's on call, so I get a little reprieve. I badge into one of the vacant spots, settling down into the operator chair and turning my back towards the aisle. I can't really do anything until Russell's done. I'm clocked in, so I guess I should enjoy getting paid to do nothing, but it's hard not to be annoyed by that hurry up and wait feeling. I drum my fingers idly on my thigh. Still no new messages. I don't go through it quickly, but it's been long enough for me to finish my coffee. About what Lark was saying earlier, maybe I just need to... Julian, just who I was hoping to see. You won't believe how much the terrace office is forcing on us. We're going to need our star operator. Of fucking course. The music change, it's like, you can already tell that he fucking hates this guy. Who doesn't? Who doesn't not like their boss? Afternoon, Russell. I'm ready to go when you are. I turn toward him, hoping to bring up the reinstatements, but he quickly steps behind me, wasting no time. I face forward as he prepares, awkwardly forced to listen without having him in my field of vision. It could have been much worse, you know. I pushed back as hard as I could, but you get how it is. Let's get you set up and running, You got a busy day ahead of you. And hey now, Julian. Fuck. I wince as he yanks my interface out without asking. Dude, what? This guy's too nice. Someone does that to me, I'm like sitting up and it's like, hey fucker, don't pull that shit out of my fucking head, please. Please let me know. I wince as he yanks my interface out without asking, dropping it on the table, briefly sending static across my vision. Oh, whoops. Keep doing that. No interface usage on the job, Julian. You know that. Anyway, time to get you to work. So this fucking guy just yanked it out of your hand. That's basically the equivalent of like grabbing your phone out of your hands while texting on the job. I already fucking hate this guy. If they tried to make the reader hate him, they did a good job because I already don't like him. I shift slightly in my seat, lining up the ports on my spine with the open spaces running down the back of my chair. Russell crouches down with the first cable. Hey, we finally get to see ourselves. And slots it at my lower back. You know, the extra contracts wouldn't be any trouble normally, but we are still a little short. And just between you and me, I think Charlie's milking things a bit. Just don't tell him I said that. You know he can get so haha touchy. No, he doesn't. Russell works his way up my back, slotting the second cable in. And you know, I'm happy for Anita to have time with the baby. Maybe it's not the best time for it, career-wise, but takes all kinds, eh? Got to work with what we've got. He slots the third cable just under my shoulder blades. I shift slightly in the chair. I can feel the existing connections tug at me. Easy there, big guy. I know you're raring to get in. Just give me a little longer. Don't call me that. Dude, you're such a... Oh. I don't know. I would at least say something. Like, I wouldn't be like, hey, fucker, but it's like, I would at least be like, hey, man. Don't be so... I don't know. That's what always sucks, is like, you have these people who just, you know, try to get through their day, try not to bring attention to themselves, and then, you know, fucking guys like this walk all over them. Sorry, Russell. And then he's saying sorry to him? Oh, stop, dude. You're... I'm getting angry for you, dude. You need to be angrier. Oh, shit. I clicked too early. Ah, well, we really should get you a bigger chair. Scoot down just a little for me. He always says that, but here I am in the same chair as ever. I shift down slightly, bringing the highest port below the edge of the headrest that had been blocking it. I let him make the final connection. He pats and grips my shoulder after plugging me in. I can feel the clammy warmth of his fingers through the jumpsuit. I keep my eyes forward, my expression blank. Anyway, glad I don't have to worry about that sort of thing from you, Julian. You are rock solid. You're not like them. You're dependable. Dependable for him, aka you don't tell me to shut up when I'm being an asshole. Now, let's get you in there. Sounds good, Russell. He moves to the console. I blink, slightly jolted by the boot up. then try to relax as the usual diagnostics run and signal green one by one. With a nod to Russell, I initiate full system startup, the chair lowering so that I lie on my back. I look up at the low-hanging, large tiles on the drop ceiling overhead. I stare at the small water stain and wait. I... he's just there. He's like, hello. All good to go. Good luck out there. I'm always so glad I can count on you, Julian. The machine I'm connected to processes, computes, and takes the world away from me. Everything is stripped away. Rebuilding myself takes time. It's a far cry from the exchange's feeling of entering into another place, one where I am myself, or more so instead, all sensations and my sense of self are now pared down, reduced to more efficient conduits for raw data. I see the world, the real world, through the grainy, low-resolution vision of a set of cameras. Location and task data stream into my consciousness without a sound. So he controls drones that clean stuff, and he does multiple at once. World's shittiest job. Looks like I have some street sweeping to do, one of our regular office contracts, and some stadium cleanup. Keeping Clyde's warmth in mind, I throw myself straight into it. Time only holds meaning for a little while. The rapid pace doesn't leave much room for thought. I am a set of wheels, a readout of remaining glass cleaning spray in the tanks, a constellation of sensors conveying only what specific information is needed to guide me through my work. Time, for what little it means, passes. Julian, I hate to do this, but we're really going to need to pick up the pace today. There's a few more assignments coming your way. Take care of them, would you? Oh, God. The input bandwidth increases. I see more, feel more, become less. Bright lights, loud noises. I have no eyes to close or ears to cover. I can't hear myself think. It's later in my shift now. It must be. I work, I clean. Time must be passing somewhere. Russell, how long are we going to be burning through it this hard? I don't know if I can keep this up. We need to start figuring out any lower priority contracts we can drop. Janet's getting in soon. Don't you worry. It's just for a little while. I must be breathing somewhere out there, but I can't breathe in here. Oh my god. This is scary. I don't like this at all. This is your job, bro? This sounds awful. Time must be passing, but I can't feel it. It has to be at least 4 hours into my shift, right? It has to be. I'm clinging to that thought when I feel the brush of contact as a line opens. Dude, that would be the worst thing is through all of this, it's like, oh, it's only been an hour. That would be enough to make me cry. Russell, I need to take my break. I'm dying out. So, bad news time. It looks like Janet's out today. I'm sorry to hear that, but this is substantial. And you know how the numbers are looking this month, so I'm really sorry for this one. It's just going to be one of those shifts. But I know you're a real trooper, Julian. You've got this. Russell, do not. Holy shit, what a piece of shit. I hate this guy. I hate this guy so much. The flow of information becomes a deluge. I try to swim in it, but I am drowning. I am washing away. There are no words, no thoughts, no self. Why can't I breathe? Why? Fucking guy, I fucking hate this guy. He's like already like trying not to put the blame on himself. Not my fault that he didn't take appropriate safety measures. I can't reasonably be expected to predict. Seriously, you're going to throw him under the bus for not pulling the overdrive? He was all but having a fucking seizure, and the last time somebody actually punched out you... I simply do not feel safe having this discussion if you're going to take that kind of tone. If you feel that we should have a post-mortem on the incident, the appropriate venue for that conversation is... I groan. Somebody must have rolled me onto my side. These chairs aren't meant for it, and I think my arm's asleep. I pry my eyes open and try to clear the uncomfortable buildup in my throat. I pry my eyes open and try to clear the... Oh, it skipped the fucking thing. Okay, I was like... I noticed not much change, so I was like, oh. Oh, I appear to have vomited. He is having too little reaction to this right now. He is too much of a pushover. It's making him... Please stand up for yourself, please. Julian. There, see, he's doing just fine. Julian, you had us all worried. A fluorescent ache pounds somewhere in my forehead as I try to stir. What happened? That's such a good question. We're going to have to... You got overloaded. His little... Why did you say that? Why are you putting the blame on me? Well, in any case, why don't you head home early? Don't worry, I'm not upset or anything. We might need to include a refresher on overdrive procedures in the next weekly, but these things happen. I try to rise. I can't make my limbs obey me. Are these arms and legs, this avatar mine? Is this me? Oh, now he's gonna inception himself. Now he's gonna be like, am I real? Because if I counted correctly, you were in 16 different drones at one point, which is just awful to think about. You're feeling every one of those plays. Why did you do this? Jesus, he's fucked. You said it. Oh. Now let's just give it a little time. 2 more times. I try and fail to rise before I slowly lift my torso. Clyde must have left because now he's back carrying my thermos. Drink. The first taste of cold water is like life re-entering my body. I drink it greedily enough to choke and sputter, coughing briefly before taking another swallow. I shift, finally managing to sit up and bring my feet down to the ground. I think I should feel angry, but I'm too wretched to feel much else at all. Remember, if you feel any vertigo and it's not going away, you need to call... Come on, Clyde, I'm sure he doesn't need us playing nursemaid. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. And your off days are coming up, aren't they? Guess you're getting an early start. See you back Thursday. Is he expecting something? Words? Speech? I think I remember. Nothing. Right. Thanks, Russell. I didn't want to say that. Why did I say that? Julian, no! Sad, sad. Time drifts on the bus ride back. I drink from my thermos slowly, small sips while my head spins. It's a struggle to sit upright, let alone stand again when the bus reaches my stop. Oh my god, dude, you're pushing yourself. You got completely fucked up by a piece of shit asshole, and you're pushing yourself through it, and you're not standing up for yourself. Oh. The path keeps twisting under my feet as I walk home. When I finally make it back, I'm not going to say it's the most glad I've ever been to see home, but it's up there. Hello, new character. So, he lives with this guy Amir, Lark, and Alex. Sorry, I just noticed the little box behind the TV. It's got like antennas sticking out of it on the very left. It's kind of funny. We're in the future. Why has it got antennas? I like looking at these backgrounds. Like, you can even see in the back, too, on the left of him, you can see that those are the paintings from where the kitchen is. I really like that. Continuity is cool. Amir's watching something in the living room when I come in. He looks up when I enter, then double takes. Hey, what? Jesus, you look awful. Feel worse. What happened? Busy workday. Got overloaded. I think I passed out. You what? I wince at the sudden increase in volume, raising my hands placatingly as he stands. It's fine, I'm fine. I ran checks on the way home. The failsafe kicked in before any lasting damage. Oh, you almost got maimed or worse? Your boss only almost put you in the fucking hospital? Julian, that ain't fine. Thank you, finally someone who's reacting. Who's reacting the way I would. Look, sorry for yelling, but you know how serious this shit is. You don't want to end up the same as me. The second they break you, they'll throw you away and slot a new part in the machine right where you were. They'll replace you before the next shift. And good fucking luck seeing where they're supposed to owe you when they do. Come on, Julian, don't make my mistake, please. I wince a little at his raised voice, but he's right. I know, look, it's been a long day. I'll be more careful next time. Hey, Amir, I wasn't trying to be as sensitive about, your... Don't, it's fine. If me getting stuck with a fucking burned out husk of useless metal on my back is good for anything, maybe take it as a warning not to end up with the same. At least that'd be something. Anyway, guessing it was that prick, right? What's his name? Rob? Russell. Yeah, it was him. Well, fuck him. You thinking about reporting him? I don't know. He must know where the bodies are buried or something. Management never wants to touch him. And I guess it's not like I have lasting damage to claim for. If I try to take it outside the company, it'll go nowhere. Amir looks like he wants to argue, but I try to divert him. How's your claim going anyway? Isn't. Still got a couple case workers I'm supposed to keep harassing. Managed to make a full circuit of people telling me that it ain't their job, but I should bother the other guy. Yeah, so, which one always tells the truth, and which one always lies? Well, the loan repayment messages for the Gen 2s always get here on time. I think I could just rip them out and mail them in instead of paying. They sure seem to think they're still worth a lot. Not like I'm using them. Worth a shot. He chuckles, even though my response isn't that funny. We both know he's going to keep making payments on Gen 2 implants that don't work, or he's going to try to at least. And we both know I'm not going to report Russell. Dude, at least report him. I totally understand feeling helpless in like the work environment and everything, right? But at least report him. At least I don't know, like it's like do something. Push back a little bit, please. Well, anyway, I'm just gonna take a nap before people get here. I don't know how much I'm gonna be up for tonight. If I end up not coming out, just let me sleep. Yeah, you and me both. Get some rest. Guess I'll see you later. Or not. Later. Exhaustion hits me hard as soon as the door to my room closes behind me. I think about just crawling into bed in my work clothes, but it isn't worth it. My fingers feel and slowly sorry. My fingers feel slow and unwieldy as I strip. God, better to nearly burn out before a few days off, I guess. If it had been at the start of the week, if I had to work tomorrow, just the thought makes me feel like crying. Oh man. I sit on the bed, blank and heavy and defeated. What's the joke people always make in this sort of situation? It's a living. No reaction. I guess it's not that funny. Because it isn't. I crawl under the sheets, on my side, like I've always slept since I got the Gen 2s. My fists are clenching as I bring the blankets up to my chin. I have to force them to relax. Everything's too bright, too much. Light bothers me. I end up clutching a pillow over my head to block it out. Once I find that point of balance, my breathing slows. If I dream, I don't remember it. My mouth is burning dry when I wake up. Sounds like things have kicked off. There's enough noise coming in that I doubt I'll be able to get back to sleep. I roll over and squint at my clock. It's about 10 or so. I'm feeling at least a little recovered. Guess I can go looking for some water, or maybe a drink. I take a moment to pull my clothes on before pushing the door open. It is indeed a party. I think there's around 15, maybe 20 people, counting me and the rest of us living here, so it's pretty high energy for how small this place is. I find a smile and manage a few pleasantries at people I half recognize while I gingerly weave towards the kitchen. I think Alex is talking to one of his coworkers, and that guy over there is one of Amir's old buddies. He's cool. Lark's talking to a goat in an all-black ensemble leaning on a walker, but I don't think I know her. I'll have to ask later. Probably somebody in the exchange arts scene I've only met virtually. I'm trying to see, are they in this background, or I don't see anyone leaning on a walker. I don't see anyone leaning, so as I finally reach the drinks table, I end up next to Alex just as he's saying his goodbyes to his coworker. Guess they're calling it in early night. He brightens up when he spots me. Julian, Amir mentioned what happened. That whole situation sounds fucked. You doing okay? I hope we didn't wake you. On a better day, maybe I could pretend, but he sees the answer before I speak. I mean, I gesture generally to the loud music and noisy crowd. Alex looks embarrassed. Yeah, no, you got me there. Sorry, man. It's fine. Don't get me wrong. The whole thing was pretty scary, but I'm feeling mostly better, physically at least. Still, probably gonna take it a bit easy tonight. Makes sense. Want me to grab you a soda or something? Nah. I reach over him and carefully pluck one of the lagers I like off the table, twisting off the bottle top. Just means I'm gonna pace myself a bit. My man. No promises not to take pictures when somebody peels you off the floor later. Man, don't you dare. But seriously though, I don't think I'm gonna be up for much. Probably for the best. You eaten yet? We have snacks and stuff set up in the living room. Or, I don't know, probably some of that pizza left over if you want some. Snacking's fine for now. Actually, I might get on that. Have fun. Is that him on the right there? He's like, oh, too many people. Unfortunately, getting to the snacks is easier said than done. Okay, this is fine. I just need to do a little maneuvering. I shuffle around the outside of the crowd, making my way towards... Your friends! Scary! New character though. Erudite partygoer. This person's got some aura. The look. Acting, I feel like this person seems like a nerd character. Acting as the entire world we find ourselves in is a question without stakes. It's a ranked nihilism. Okay, sorry, let me... Acting as if the entire world we find ourselves in is a question without stakes. It's a rank nihilism, and I won't stand for it. Oh good, then we better get to the bottom of this one, shouldn't we? But why stop there? What if everything is fake? What if we're all just brains in jars, Come on, there's a bottomless well of intellectual sophistry with your name on it. Oh, hell no. They're having the fucking, oh my god, I can't think of the word. The, existential conversations. I'm not involved. I'm not getting involved in whatever this is. I try to go unnoticed, inching around them towards the chips and dip. Julian! You could settle this for us. Fuck. People always catch the antlers. Amir, far enough down the table to be out of the line of fire and laying waste to some pretzels, shoots me a sympathetic glance. Next to him, the bowl of chips beckons, untouched. It's a simple question, really. What lies beyond the walls? What? Outside, past the dome encircling our fair city, past the walls of Megiddo. Our friend here demands an accounting of every molecule in the universe before they can decide whether or not any of them are worth their time. So please, do indulge them. Maybe if I'm lucky, the earth will swallow me whole. These are some of my favorite scenes in visual novels when you're, like, in a social situation and you basically just get to, like, like, just watch as this goes down because everyone's been in this spot once or twice. I mean, Amir pipes up, and I have never been more grateful for that man in my entire life. Call me boring, but I'm just gonna go with the history class version. A real nasty bioweapon hit Earth. Harthan was already building some big underground facility for some spook shit, so a bunch of people with money or connections or whatever moved here. 100-some years later, Harthan's still running things, and here we are. Nobody enters, nobody leaves. Well, besides materials coming down the solar column and garbage going back up and out. So interesting. So something happened. So yeah, so something happened on Earth where people can no longer live on the surface, and now we're living. Because I think we're underground. Like, it isn't a dome on the surface; it's an underground dome, which is great, and it must be a really damn big one. I read this right? Yes. And the latest update said, what, another 140 years before the surface is safe again? Then we can go outside and see sunny New Mexico? New Mexico. New Mexico, they claim. But we could be anywhere. And it's 170. Though I suppose if Harthan told you that they could levitate up into the air, you'd believe that too. Excuse me? I interject before things can escalate. Well, I think it's... Oh shit, I'm getting a choice. Okay. You just threw that on me suddenly. Let's see here. Let's throw this here. I always like to save before choices, so I'm just gonna save there. What Amir said. The bottom of the ocean. Space. All a hoax. Nothing. So we're fighting over... what we're actually... Because they're saying that we're underground in New Mexico. But we could... So they're asking me what I think. I kind of like the bottom of the ocean answer. Like, it's a really dumb answer that wouldn't, like, really make a ton of sense. Considering how incredibly difficult it would be to build a dome under the water. But I kind of just like the answer because it seems... I don't know why we'd be in space. All a hoax. Nothing. Let's do this one. I like this one. The bottom of the ocean. What? I mean, think about it, right? We know the first Exodus members got rendered unconscious before they were moved. The pressure from the water that you'd have to build for is pretty similar to the pressure from being underground, and you're either keeping out a deadly virus or water, so it's airtight either way. Okay, this guy's going way more into this than I thought he would. I was just answering this because I want the chips. I mean, there's not any reason it couldn't be underwater. But why would it be? I don't know. Seems cool. I love this dude's expression. Ugh! You're not even taking this seriously. Here I stand, casting pearls before swine. Well, first of all, that's racist. Enough! I shan't endure this disrespect any longer. They storm towards the door, shoulder checking Alex on the way. Damn. Who seems more confused than anything. Jesus, what's their problem? Fixated on epistemological dilemma. Happens to the best of us. Anyway, what do you think is outside the dome? Dirt? Wait, no, rocks. This far down? I don't know, man. I'm not a geologist. And thus, the question is settled. I mean, if you're gonna do those sorts of party game questions, you should do the important ones, like, what would you do if you won the lottery? Oh, good. Crass materialism is definitely an interesting topic. I like this guy. This guy's fun. It is if you're any good at it. I think I'm silently coming around on the merits of the last conversation. Lark plants themselves firmly, ready for the battles to come. They're also still between me and the snack table, if I could just scoot a little to the right. So, let's see, after I've got an estate up in the Wreath, a personal chef, and Archer's VIP season tickets, I think a private car is next, right? Like, you show up somewhere and you're already stunting on people. The desires that lurk within your innermost heart are grotesque. Honestly, you just get bored of it all in a week. Man, whatever. Think about it. I mean, really think about it. With that kind of money, you're out of the grind forever. You never have to work again. You never have to struggle again. You get to spend the rest of your life doing whatever you want, never having to say yes sir to anyone again. I'd give my left nut for that shit. Don't act like you wouldn't. I wouldn't. I like my left nut. I also like Julian's left nut if we're keeping score. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I would simply commission a thermonuclear device and have it drop on my boss like a normal person. I don't know about all that. I think I'd open a bar. Amir, you work in a bar and complain about it all the time. You could do anything in the world and you just keep doing the same thing? Yeah, well, if I ran the place, it wouldn't be shit. And what about you, Julian? Am I getting a choice again? Well, I mean, you already took the boss thing. I did. Vengeance is mine alone, saith the lark. So, man, I don't know. It's not the sort of thing I have a plan laid out for. Boring. The question is stupid, but I am with them on this one. Well, sorry to disappoint, I guess. Though, if we sorted out the universe for the evening, please move so I can get the chips. I'm dying. Well, I for one need another drink after that exercise. Oh, me too. The group gradually breaks up. I am, at last, able to get something to eat, and I end up nursing a second beer to go with it. I catch up with a few old friends and maybe make the first steps towards some new ones. It's nice. It really has been a while since I relaxed properly. But at some point, the company goes from pleasant to overwhelming and the pounding music starts to make my head hurt. Maybe alcohol wasn't the best idea. I make my polite excuses and slip up to the relative quiet of the second floor, heading out past the bedrooms and onto the balcony. It's only as I step out into the cool of the outdoors that I realize how warm it had been getting inside the house. I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding, leaning against the railing. Oh, hey. Sorry, I hope I'm not interrupting. You're good. Come on, sit a while. I oblige, lowering my bulky frame into one of the deck chairs. It's late enough that the stars are on. We got virtual stars too. I like this background. So the cities are like... Are there like levels to the cities? Because you got the lights up above and then you got the lights down there. But then I think there's a wall from the railing blocking your rest of your view right there, so you can't really see out to the city. Interesting. They subtly change which of the small dome-embedded lights they illuminate each night. I look up to them, about 3 miles away, and try to discern some sort of pattern. Imagine your job is, every night I randomize the stars. But it's all just noise. Just need a break from the crowd? Something like that. Maybe I'm still a little fucked up from work. He laughs ruefully, and I wince. I suppose he'd certainly know what that feels like. He takes a long drag from a cartridge in his hand and lets it out. The smell is smoky. Vapor that smells like smoke under lights that look like stars. Damn. I really like that line. It's really sad, but I really like that. That was really good. My head swims with it for a moment. I feel strange, like I might fall down and tumble into nothingness. Catching my look, he holds up the cartridge. You can relax. I'm not looking to get fucked up or anything. It's just for the pain. Oh, right. I wasn't thinking you were, for what it's worth. No improvement with the new doctor, huh? First one thought it was in my head. This one thinks it's some leftover firmware shit after I got fried. I still think they might have messed up my surgery in the first place. Had a way slower recovery than you did. Yeah, so they're basically setting up that he had what almost happened to us, but it actually permanently fucked him up. Which is really, is really concerning. This is kind of one of the biggest reasons why I, don't like the idea of, like electronics and shit like that being in your body, because they break, and then it's connected to yourself. And then, how do you fix that? It's scary to think about. Because at least if a phone breaks, it's like, I'll just get a new one. Stuck living with it either way, I guess. Maybe take another shot at some specialist when I can scrape together the cash, but sure would be easier to do that if the implants I'm paying for fucking worked. Hell of a thing to sell your body and then end up in the bargain bin. The statement hangs over us. There isn't anything I can say that he hasn't heard 1,000 times before. That sucks. I'm sorry. I'm here for you. I hope it gets better. He won't want to hear that again. He won't want to hear that shit again. The helplessness of it all makes me feel stupid and childish. But I give it my best shot anyway. You deserve better. The corner of his lip quirks in a smile. Maybe at the night. This always happens. I overthink words and I can't say it anymore. The naivety of it, but it's something. I'm sorry. I overthink words and then I just suddenly can't say it anymore. Guess we all do. Well, it's true. Maybe. Doesn't do much good even if it is. That childish feeling lingers, mixes with frustration, becoming petulance. Just what he needed. An opinion on justice from somebody whose family Just what he needed. An opinion on justice from somebody whose family meant he never needed to take out loans in the first place. Delivered while holding the functioning implants and cushy employment that Amir all but sold his soul for and no longer has. Maybe seeing my expression, he reaches out and puts a hand on my thigh. Sorry, I'm being shitty. I get you. You're good people, Julian. Always have been. His paw lingers, heavy and warm. It's the second time that I've been touched today, but this time I don't mind at all. Only thing worse than being in the shit is being in it alone. So, always gonna be glad I've got you and the rest. Even without. His eyes flick to the wall, to their once shared bedroom on the other side. Derek's absence, unspoken, weighs down on the conversation with a terrible gravity. Amir withdraws, leans back in his chair, sighing and shaking his head. Nah, none of that. Not tonight, at least. What have you been up to? Tell me about whatever bullshit you and Lark have going on in the exchange. You've always got a good story. I sink back into my own chair, drawing in a deep breath as my gaze drifts upwards. Well, I've been working on this idea that involves digging through a bunch of pre-Exodus plant and animal records. We talk for a while, low and steady. I don't keep track of time. Still, I can feel it pass. And tonight, that's another small thing I savor. Later on, Amir glances over his shoulder back into the house. The music stopped. I can see his gaze unfocused for a moment as he checks the time. I do too. It's getting so late, it's early. Probably about time to head in. He sighs, lifting himself up and moving, but stops to rest his hand on my shoulder. Feel like doing some cleanup? Guessing we're the only ones awake and still sober at this point. May as well. We both head in, and Amir's prediction proves accurate. Somebody got Alex hydrated and back into his room, where his snore is alarmingly loud. Lark is either asleep or busy with a partner or two, judging by their locked door. Maybe with. What was her name? Ah, well. The house isn't as bad as it could be, honestly. There's a bit of residual stickiness from a spilled drink in the kitchen that takes a little elbow grease. Otherwise, it's just a good amount of stray plates and glasses. Maybe more crumbs than usual for the next time somebody vacuums, but we leave that for tomorrow. Between the two of us, we make short work of it. Amir winces and stretches a bit as I gather up the last plates and start loading them. He's not big on bending over if he can't help it. If he can help it. But he does give the counters a last wipe down as I start the dishwasher. I think that's the last of it? Should be. Everything that can't wait anyway. We head back up towards our bedrooms, trying not to move too loudly past Lark and Alex's rooms. Maybe it's the activity of moving around and cleaning up newly invigorating. Maybe it's the activity of moving around and cleaning up newly invigorating me, but I don't feel tired yet. Or I guess I feel tired, but I don't feel ready to sleep. And judging by the way he lingers by his own open door as I'm about to pass by, I think Amir might feel the same way. Hey, Julian. You feel like visiting me for a bit before we turn in? Yeah, yeah, I'd like that. He smiles at me and steps in, and I follow into the Wolverine's room. It did that. It did that sprite thing again. A new background. The Archers. So is that a music group? I thought it was a like a um uh gosh, what am I trying to think of? A sports team. Holy shit, I was struggling with that. That was like it was like I've never had something so on the tip of my tongue in my life. Arthur Safe Air. And I can see his suit over there. I think that's what it is. On the very, very far right on the edge of his bed. Well, alright. I've been playing this game for a little bit over an hour now, and I think I'm gonna call that for the first episode here. Thank you for watching. These videos aren't very usual for me, but I'm gonna try to make them more usual because I really like reading these stories, these free stories that people like me make. They're not just big games, group of people. They're these little indie visual novel stories, and I really, really like them. And so far, this has been really fun to read, and I'm really intrigued on what this story has to offer. But thank you if you watched, and I will see you in the next episode.